I am sorry that I'm so late getting on here. I've had such a hard day today, and what I don't even understand the settings on YouTube Live. Okay, I'm gonna try my best. I usually only go live on TikTok because that was like my original platform. But since I kind of branched out to YouTube and a little bit of Facebook, although I haven't really connected with a lot of people on Facebook. I just am more accustomed to the way YouTube works. I don't know if I can hold on. I don't know if I can invite my subscribers. Hold on one second here. But yeah, I just had a really hard day today, but I was I've never gone live on YouTube, and I want to connect with some, of the amazing people that I've met on this platform. So here I am, and I don't even know if anyone's gonna come into this live because I decided to do it I don't know, 20 minutes before I actually went live. So there may not even be anyone in here. But if you're here, feel free to engage in the comments. I'm happy to answer questions. I'm a pretty open book when it comes to my healing journey and different types of difficult life experiences that people go through. And I've just learned so much about things that I've gone through and things that other people have gone through from social media. And it's just incredible the connections you can make, and just the sense you can make of everything, that you've been through when you start sharing about your hard and traumatic experiences. Hi, Veilside Foxy, how are you? Sorry, I have to say I'm sorry now because I am not very I'm not very, what is the word I'm looking for? I'm not very savvy with YouTube Live. This is my first time I've ever gone live on YouTube, so good. Okay, let's block the trolls. Kevin, hi Kobim, how are you? So I should have put in the title of my live. I share a lot on my page about domestic violence and narcissistic abuse, and having gone through it myself, just try to share my experience as much as I can to try to help others who are in the thick of it or have gone through it in the past, or, whatever the case may be. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kobim. Hopefully it has, oh my gosh, Kevin, what are you doing, dude? Put user in timeout. There's a control on here that says put user in timeout. You're going in timeout, Kevin. I don't know what you're talking about. Goodness gracious. But thank you, Kobim. I hope it's been, helpful in some way. Hi, Thiago. How are you? I'm sorry if I am not saying, if I'm mispronouncing your name. I apologize. Doing my best here. I don't know why I'm so nervous right now. I go on TikTok live a fair amount, and I'll just get on there and talk my face off, and I feel like it's a lot of the same people that I talk to, but since I've never gone live on YouTube, I'm super hi Hi, Kirsten. How are you? You're from the UK? What time is it there now? It's probably like middle of day or morning. Um, is that what you, sorry, I need to just do my research on YouTube Live. I see like my son really likes Mr. Beast, and I see this guy and I'm like, he's like a YouTube guru, and I'm hopping on live like, let me see what do I do here? I feel like such a noob. Oh my gosh, 2:20 a.m. This is like perfect, chatting about trauma and traumatic life experiences. That's what keeps me up at 2:20 in the morning. Sarah and Kirsten. I laugh about like I laugh about the difficult life experiences. A lot of my content is really serious because I want it to make an impact in a way that could possibly like help someone and save someone, or just whatever, like make them feel less alone even. But in real life, I have a very dark sense of humor, and I make jokes about things that normal people would probably look at me and be like, what is wrong with this chick? Oh, thank you, Coben. Yeah, it's okay. It's 8:18 where you are. Valeside Foxy, cool. Cool. Yeah, it's 9:19 where I am. So, well, what is everyone doing? What does everyone have on their mind? What would you like, if you are a subscriber, what kinds of stuff would you like to see more of? Because I feel like a lot of the experience I share about is like recovering from narcissistic abuse as a mother, and like escaping as a mother, which is like a really tough thing to do. That's not patting myself on the back. That's saying like it's a whole like corn maze of pure fighting that you have to do to escape an abusive relationship when you have children. So I just say that because I feel like that's the situation that maybe I'm wrong about this, but that keeps people stuck the most, because it's really hard, to figure all that out. You're not just like packing up a bag and leaving, like you have other lives to consider, Hi, Baker Man. So high dose of Mia. So if there's anything else that you would want to see, or like any questions that you have, I'm a pretty open book. So feel free, like Q&A, whatever. I'm pretty open with my, oh my gosh, you're 12, Kirsten? If I ever seem sarcastic, yeah, I agree. Oh my gosh, Kirsten. Well, I'm glad you're here. I did not put like my age restrictions on or anything. I've actually talked to quite a few kids across different platforms of mine, and I'm working on some kids books, some PDF guides actually, in before I like jump to the book thing. Just because I feel like informing, kids in situations like this is really important, and just giving them a voice and giving them a sense of self and giving them, you know, any tool or any encouragement they can have to be self-assured and to trust themselves. And whether they're like dealing with a parent who is narcissistic, or their parents are divorced and they deal with one parent who's narcissistic, or whatever, I know that abuse affects a lot more than just the adults involved, obviously, arguably more the kids. So yeah, so hi, Gorito. Sorry, I cannot read tonight. I'm just, yeah. So I'm, oh, Valeside Foxy. I don't know how YouTube works, guys. I'm like, are you trolling, or are you actually 8 and 12? I'm sorry. if I was on TikTok, it would be nothing but weird troll stuff in the comments. So if I'm like a little weary, just bear with me. I do know Indonesia. A Q&A sticker, a hobby you're most passionate about right now. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Well, I mean, if you're here and you're lonely and you just want to troll, then you can hang with us. It's fine. Yeah, I don't really I need to watch more YouTube lives, but I feel like every time I go to a YouTube live, it's just either gaming, which is insane, incredible. Like those creators are on another level. They have like hundreds of thousands of people in their life. I'm like, that is so cool. They literally play video games and just that's their job. Like that's amazing, you know? But yeah, I haven't really seen any like talking lives where people are like getting not personal, but you know, like sharing their personal experience on like certain topics and stuff. So I need to brush up my knowledge of this platform. But yeah, I'm really glad that I started doing YouTube though, because I feel like I just was like inundated with TikTok and Instagram. But I mean, this kind of stuff, healing from abuse, experiencing it in real time, whatever it may be, affects so many people, you know? And so I was really not happy to see, but at least like I felt fulfilled to see that there were, you know, people who could like relate to my experience or benefit from it or just get something out of it, you know? Five Nights at Freddy's is permanently closed. Weird. Thank you, Bakerman. Or is it Bakerman? I feel like weird. Am I saying that right? Five Nights at Freddy's is permanently closed. So is that like the teddy bear horror character? Happy birthday on September 12th, Kirsten. Paul, okay, cool. I feel like I've seen you comment on some of my content. Maybe I'm hallucinating. I wish that there was... Ooh, yeah. That's rough. I feel like I wish there was like on Instagram and TikTok, I feel like I'm always DMing with followers and like, hey, like checking in, like we may have chatted, you know, once before and just checking in on them or like, you know, hey, I was able to leave or whatever, you know, and I don't know. I wish that we had that on this app, I feel like. Thank you, Shelby. That's so sweet. Hi, Sarah. I already said hi, Sarah. Sorry to be awkward and like say it twice. Do not tell them you're leaving. If you're leaving someone who is abusive or emotionally abusive, or you just think like they're just such an asshole. Like, why do they call me names? Like maybe you haven't named it as abuse yet or whatever. Like, cause I really hadn't. I thought I did, but I really hadn't. And I said, I said it. I said, yeah, I said like, that's it. Like, I'm going to have paperwork when you get back and it's done. Like, I'm done. I'm finally done. And I'm not going back on it. And that is actually when the abuse got physical for the first time. And since then, since like sharing my experience and getting more in tune with the community of, you know, surviving domestic violence, apparently it's pretty common knowledge that you never tell someone you're leaving if you're leaving an abuser. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. You never tell someone that you're in an abusive relationship that you're leaving. And I understand why. Like, it makes sense, you know, because it had never, You're safe here, Chloe. Yeah, Shelby, yes, definitely. And if they know you're leaving, like any really communication, not even just like information you give them, any communication, especially after you leave with them, is only giving them, like every time you literally have a conversation with them, it is simply them manipulating you. It is simply them gathering information from you and plotting how they can use that against you. It is never like, oh, he like being so nice today, he just wants to chat. Like he asked me what I did today. That's maybe he's not terrible. Like, no, he is. And he's plotting and he's gathering information. And whatever he says in response is to make you feel a certain way or to make you act a certain way. And I always tell women, like, my biggest advice, once you leave, they are not your point of contact for anything. And I mean anything. Like, if you have children, go, this is my advice. This is my lived experience. This is what I did. You have to go to court immediately. You have to file for custody. You have to get something drawn up through the courts, because they will take advantage of your kindness every single time. And so, you know, it's just the sooner you accept that and the sooner you realize there's no like, oh, let's just be amicable. Like, let's just, you know, maybe now that he like doesn't have to deal with me every day or whatever, he'll just like do what's best, you know, and we can just like split up what we have. No, it's war and you can do it. And it's not impossible, but you have to be just as ruthless as they are. Like, you truly do. Let's see. It does make sense, I think, because we have a small child. In my mind, I'm like, why can't you sit down? We sort this out for them, not you or me. But yeah, it's constant. Yeah, it's not. They're never going to. You are the only person who is ever going to do what is best for your child. And like, the sooner you accept that and remove them from the equation, and I'm not talking about like the way family courts work, in my experience and from what I've heard from others, unless it's some kind of crazy situation, like the kids are still gonna, you know, like interact with their parent at the very least, like even the abusive parent. And you need to, like, in my experience, I had to handle everything with the courts, not with him, not even visitation. I couldn't even have a conversation about like, are you going to be here at 2 without it turning into like, you did this and this is your fault and you're a blah, blah, blah. And a, you know, you can imagine, right? The words that were said. And I'm sorry, I'm recovering from a cold. My kids gave me something. But yeah, like, there's no sensical conversation you will ever have with them where they are not absolutely gaslighting you, emotionally abusing you, mentally abusing you. There's no, like, they are not someone to look to. There's nothing they have to offer you. Not even what color is the sky, because if it's clearly blue, they will somehow try to convince you that it's red. Like, it's just not, there's nothing to gain from a conversation with them. There's nothing. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Shelby. Yeah, you have to close the door. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's like, you know, I've seen so many things recently and I've been posting a lot about it because I just want people to know that, like, whether you're a man or a woman, a lot of my content speaks like about him and he and men and whatever. That was just my experience, and I share about my experience. I know that there are abusers of, you know, like, no specific gender. Like, anyone can be an abusive person. So like, if you're a man or if you're a woman, like, there's no, they don't have conversations to come to any sort of like agreement or goal or end result. They just want to see you lose your mind. Like, they will just literally repeat the same crazy shit in a loop over and over again until you forget what you were even trying to convey to them. And you will be so confused, but you will be so sure that somehow you caused all of this. So like, that's at least was my experience. No, Harley, no. Was your ex abusive? Like, not to get all up in your shit. I mean, that's what my followers typically are, recovering from an abusive relationship, but no. The only thing you can do to get through to them is to go no contact. Like, and I did not want to accept that. I could not accept it. I was like, oh yeah, well, he's the father of my kids. Like, I have to communicate with him. Like, no. And I kept doing it. And it's like, if you keep walking through that grass, I equate it to like trying to like have amicable conversations with a narcissist or an abuser, whatever. People get so triggered by the word narcissist. You keep, like, when you're in a trauma bond, you really convince yourself over and over again that you somehow will come up with this one speech and the perfect combination of words. And that one, like, this is the big one, like, this is gonna get through to them. And it doesn't. It never fucking does. And all it does is open you up to them abusing you more. And I equate it to like walking through a lawn or like a field of grass, and you like keep going to that fucking lawn, and then you're just so surprised when the snake, right, like just keeps jumping up and just biting you over and over again. And like, for me, it was just so shocking every time. I'd be like, oh my God, but he was so nice for 5 days. And he actually was like pretending to listen to me, and he actually didn't call me names. Like, the bar was 6 feet under for like how I should be treated by another human being. And then out of nowhere, like, they show their ass again, and it's inevitable. And it just happens enough times until you realize, like, oh, that's why they say no contact. Because I literally can't even have a conversation about diapers without it turning into like, like me literally dodging bullets, like, in a conversation. Thank you, Shiesty. They don't want to be your friend. They want some way to have a hold on you. Yep. That is a hard lesson that I have to learn, and I'm still learning. I'm a very submissive person, so it's very hard. Yeah, it is really hard, Shelby. And like, I don't know if you have children or not with your ex, but I think it would have been harder for me if I didn't to leave, because I just loved him so much, and the love I felt was real. And so I probably would have stayed at the expense of like my sanity, my mental well-being, my physical well-being a lot longer if I wasn't a mom. And if you do have kids, like a lot of the women I talk to, my best advice like for that is like, oh yeah, I keep being nice to him. I keep like being flexible with, the visitation schedule and whatever. And then he just uses it against me. And I'm like, you have to think with your mom brain, not your I used to love this man brain. Like, you have to let it go, because your kids suffer when you don't set boundaries with them and hold the boundaries. It's not just you getting bit by that snake in the grass, it's your kids too. Because if someone is hurting you and destabilizing you, they're also doing those same things to your kids. And a lot of the people I talk to who have been a victim of narcissistic abuse are doing everything alone for their kids, a single parent. And I'm not talking about like the financial strain. That's obviously its own entity, but just giving them validation, being a cheery parent, or at least trying to be, you know, setting examples of like how to regulate your own emotions so that they learn how to regulate theirs. Like, you can't fucking do that if you're still in survival mode, because this ex is just throwing shot after shot after shot at you, you know? And I struggled with that a lot. Once I had already left, I just could not fathom that that like another person couldn't get their shit together and grow the fuck up and just be a co-parent with me, you know? It was like the most painful realization. It sucks. It was when he drank. Yeah, Harley, that's a thing. Yeah, definitely don't. Nothing has changed. He's thinking, oh, some time went by. Maybe she forgot. Like, maybe she forgot how bad it was. Like, and if there's like addiction stuff involved, like, you already know that's an up and down roller coaster. And if you've gotten away from it, which is so hard to do, and stayed away for 1.5 years, the biggest survival tool you have right now is to stay no contact. You don't owe him a fucking thing. You don't owe him an email. You don't owe him a text message. You don't owe him a, oh, that's nice, you miss me. Maybe we can be friends. None of that. None of that. The Life of a Showgirl. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I just love that album and I've been obsessed with it. My son's like, Taylor Swift again? I'm like, yeah, bro. Yeah. Yeah, Shelby, like, just remember every time you feel, oh, I'm sorry, skincare routine. I have, my ADHD is like so bad. I'll post a skincare routine video. I can't go over it right now because I'm like all up in the moment. but I'll post a video if you're interested in that. The Life of a Showgirl. Yeah, like, and people were like, oh, but they love their dad and blah, blah, blah. Kids cling to the abusive parent and they don't know any better. You know, like, I've heard a lot of moms be like, oh, I can't leave because, you know, like, they love their dad. And it's like, okay, that's cool. Of course they do. That's their parent. Kids love their parents. But kids do not have the emotional intelligence to realize when one of their parents is being abusive and harmful and emotionally destroying everyone in the family, because he's not just gaslighting mom. He's if he hasn't started with younger kids, he's going to start as soon as they have the awareness and like the self assurance to talk back and like be an asshole. Like, kids are so challenging. Kids are so hard. Like, people are always like, oh, he's so gentle with our baby. And I'm like, okay, he's gentle with your baby. That's great. But babies grow up into kids, and kids are really difficult sometimes. And they will absolutely push you to your limits. And what happens when you push him to his limits? He has no control. Like, he explodes. How is it going to be any different with children who a lot of narcissistic parents think they own? I mean, they believe they own those children, you know? Crystal, currently going through a breakup. Ex put hands on me, no charges were filed against each other. A few days later, he hits me with a TPO, no con. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, Crystal. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I preach all the time. People are like, I don't want to ruin his life. I don't want to get the police involved. I don't want to go through that drama, whatever. You have to call the police immediately. And you have to press charges, and you have to follow through with those charges. Because I have seen this time and time again where, you know, the abusive spouse in the household is physically abusive with the other spouse, right? And then the other spouse is just like, I just was scared to call the police or whatever. I just thought that like maybe if I left and like went to file a protective order or whatever, like that maybe I could get it. Like, and then what ends up happening a lot of times that I have seen, in court is it becomes like, oh, it's just these two high conflict parents that can't get along, because family court judges are not informed about the dynamics of abuse. They are not. They think, oh, well, if it was so bad, why didn't you call the police and file a report? So that's what I did. And I didn't know anything about any of this. I just was taught as a child, if you're in danger, call the police. And I was in fucking danger, so I called the police. You know what I mean? I didn't know about all these nuances and like, you know, things that can happen if you do and things that can happen if you don't. I just did immediately the first time. And I really feel like that helped me be able to protect my kids too. But I'm so sorry you're going through that. That's why I always preach about that. Hopefully it doesn't become like a permanent protective order, because I know a lot of the ones that are like falsely requested and granted without a lot of evidence and information are, at least I've seen, I'm not an attorney, from my own experience and friends of mine who I've met across all platforms, that it gets dropped if it's like, you know, if it's a shady thing where someone's just trying to gain power in a custody or in a divorce or whatever, you know. So I'll be thinking of you, Crystal. Yeah, the cycle in those few days, I'm like, oh, okay, it never lasts. Your children see your acts. I worry so much about them being around him and learning his BS. I haven't reported him. Sarah, no, mine do not. Mine do not. But again, like, it's not too late to report, you know, like if this is happening often, you need to just, I mean, this is my personal experience. I don't want to tell anyone anything that will put them in a dangerous situation. If you feel like you're too afraid to call the police, call your local domestic violence shelter and tell them that you're afraid to even call the police, but this is what's been going on, and they will help you at least get a safe exit plan together, even if you don't need like housing with them. In my area, and from what I've heard from a lot of my other followers and subscribers, like it's a service that they offer, right? So that's an option if you just feel too afraid to call the police. And you know, even if your kids see him, like right now, they have no chance of having a healthy household half the time and maybe learning that dad's actions are not normal and not anything to aspire to and not what they want to be like, you know what I mean? But for me, the decision was like either try and fight through custody court and do everything I needed to do and sit with the uncomfortable feeling that encompassed all of it. And then if it didn't work out, like where I was able to fully protect them or whatever, then at least I tried. Like at least I can lay my head down at night saying I tried, you know? And that was the decision I needed to make. Told his lawyer that I need a psych evaluation before getting to see my kids. But oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Crystal. This is a nightmare. Hi, bananas in pajamas. Thank you, Shelby. I'm really not, though. I'm 2.5 years out. Like, I'm really not. I don't know. Maybe I should say I'm strong. But I don't feel strong. I don't feel strong. I just tried to think with the mother inside of me and radically accept that this was never going to be a man that was going to look out for the best interest of anyone but himself. And I'm sure that if you've been in a relationship with someone like that, you've seen proof of that enough times. And like living in the delusion of like, oh, they're being nice today. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, they've been horrendous to you 1,000,000 times. And they don't care how that affects their children, right? Like, it's just, I wrote a list. I put everything down that he had ever done to hurt me. And anytime I got those delusions of like, maybe we can just, you know, be co-parents and just be friends and whatever. Like, no, like, no. And he was also helpful at reminding me of that on a very regular basis. Like, he wouldn't go very long with the nice stuff before it would get crazy again. And I'd be like, oh, there it is, I have to thank him for that one day if I ever, yeah, you don't have to be happy after being screamed at. That's not normal. That's fawning. That's called fawning. It's a survival technique, and it's not normal, Sarah. And like, women who stay in relationships like this long term end up with autoimmune disorders, cancer, early cancer diagnoses. Like, your body is not built to live under constant emotional distress. Yeah, Harley, just don't do it to yourself, honey. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up here. And I had a leak in my toilet earlier. Oh my God, there was water dripping from my chandelier. So every little noise I hear, I'm like, is that a drip? I look like a person who escaped the asylum. I'm literally just like, any noise I hear, I'm so traumatized. That was not cool. I was like, no. Have a co-parenting schedule since I'm assuming his FMLA is running out. I just told him that we could talk about anything with our legal reps present. Yeah, that's good. And don't talk on the phone either. Do not entertain phone calls. Demand that they communicate through email or text message. Email is preferred. And if you can request it through the courts, make it a court-approved parenting app, because you need everything documented, everything. Oh, I'm sorry, Kirsten. No, I have full custody. Isabel, I'm sorry. Oh, M13R1D. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I love you too. You're so sweet. You know what? We do the best we can with the information that we have in the moment. And one of the biggest reasons why my content is repetitive to an extent is because everyone's going through this shit at different times, and I feel like so many people need to be informed about like the process and like the shit they try to pull and how the courts will support it. And just like, even if it's different from my situation, since I ended up getting full custody, I want to like share the knowledge I've learned from other women too, and men who have been through similar things. So I try to do that because it's so confusing. It's traumatizing. It's confusing. The courts and the attorneys, they make you believe that you have no choice and you have to do this and you have to do that. And if you don't let them do this and if you don't let them do that, and like, it's really upsetting to see how people are just sort of moved around like cattle in the family court system. Because it's like, bro, these are people's lives. These are children's childhoods. Like, this is the safety of children, it's like, I feel like I could never talk about it enough because it's so important to get this type of information out there. Oh, Crystal, that may very well be what's going on. Sounds about right. Some lawyers are really, like, if they're getting paid, they're not really concerned about kids going to someone that may pose a safety risk from, say, an addiction that's active, like an active addiction. I've heard it all. I've experienced a lot of it. Um, really, Sherry? I'm sorry to hear that. That's crazy. I'm trying to think of other resources that you could try. Was it just because they were full at the time, or they just said, no, we don't help people who don't have kids? They are something else, that's for sure. M13, I think I already answered this question when you were in here, but I do have sole custody. I'm sorry, I'm trying to catch up. I didn't even think anyone would be in here, and now I'm like, can't read fast enough. Let me see here. Of course, Sarah. You know what? I'm a person who's like, if I go through something painful in life and I can't turn it into something that can help others, then I'll just sit around and feel sorry for myself, and like I won't grow and I won't get past it and I won't process it. But if it helps someone else, then it wasn't all in vain. It wasn't all just like, well, this was just horrible and that's all it was. And like, you know what I mean? Like, I can easily go to that place. So it helps me to like share my experience. So thank you for listening to it. Oh, thank you. I'm 13. Thank you. I'm not nice or beautiful, if you ask him. The names I've been called. But thank you for saying that. I'm trying to believe that myself too. I'm still working on that part of healing. Okay, good. I'm glad, Crystal, that it's only through the app, because that's the best way to protect yourself. And they just know that they can get away with saying anything on the phone and talking to you any old way they feel like. And they like won't accept the boundary. They'll be like, no, I'm not talking on the court-ordered app. And people are like, he won't talk on the court-ordered app. Like, the judge ordered it and he won't do it. So now we're texting because he refuses to talk about his visitation through the court-ordered app. So now I had to text with him. No, you didn't. No, you don't. If he's that stupid and going to shoot himself in the foot and refuse to comply with court orders, then he's not getting visitation. Like, this is me again after 2.5 years of healing and being the nice guy and getting run over, and the fucking truck backs up and runs me over again and, squishes my guts out all over the road. Sorry to get, graphic, but seriously, like, that's what I went through post-separation. And so that's how I feel the way I feel today. And that's why I give the advice I give, because I'm like, no, like, there are no pleasantries required for this. If there's something that's entered through the courts, that is what you follow. And if he chooses not to do that, then, oh well, like, it just shows, like, if you're really interested in being a safe and reliable parent for your child or not. And that's just how I feel about it. Yeah, Dion Carlo, I agree. Mo Pork, you shut up, dude. Or ma'am. My state sucks. I was told. A lot of family courts are like this, actually. And I was even told that, like, even if one of the parents is struggling with addiction or something like that, the courts don't ask, is this parent struggling with an addiction? They ask, is the substance abuse issue affecting the kids negatively? There's so much room for gray area there. And I was also told that as long as they can, like, get a hotel for the visitation, even if it's overnight, that's considered a suitable arrangement. It can be a different hotel every time. Psychology will tell you that is not what is best for a child. I'm sure that police officers who do their job for the right reasons would also agree that that is not what's safest for the child. But the system is run on beliefs that, you know, both parents are necessary no matter how much it costs the child emotionally, mentally, physically, like safety-wise. I don't, that's just how what I've experienced. Why do you think apps should not be a part of the process? I'm just curious. Hi, John. Good evening. Thank you, Abby. It is exhausting and expensive. I actually ended up representing myself in custody court. I fired my attorney the night before trial because she was like afraid to attorney. She was like a lawyer who was afraid to lawyer, and she was just basically encouraging me to agree to things that I did not feel were in the best interest of my children. And I sometimes feel like if you have the right mental space somehow, that in some cases, no one can advocate for you like you can. I don't advise this for everyone. It's probably crazy and like insane that I did that, but I'm glad that I did looking back, because I asked for what she thought was unreasonable to ask for, excuse me, and I stated my case and I got it. So I just feel like sometimes it's a tricky like path to navigate, because everyone's situation is so different too. And that's probably why it's so hard for like family courts to make sound decisions, because there's no way you can like present all the ins and outs of everything. And there's no way they can like understand the experiences of each individual family, you know? Yeah, they want that. They want that in my state also. It's usually that way. 50-50 is what I mean. I mean, okay, horse goat, like, are you just here to argue? Or, I mean, I think children of parents who struggle with addiction would unanimously agree that all they want is a sober parent. So that's my opinion. You can do with it what you will. I mean, and they can have successful careers. That's cool, but I'd like to know how their parenting is. And I'm not judging because I just know a lot about that topic. And yeah, I did M13. I did. You too, ABCD. How are you? Isabel, that's what being there is all that matters. I mean, no, not if you're like not emotionally present and under the influence of whatever. Because people who are under the influence of whatever, sometimes being there is when they are the most harmful and destructive to their children. So, yeah, I just posted a video actually right before I came on live saying, don't tell them, don't tell them, don't tell them, don't tell them. Because they immediately start playing games, and parents who have never given more than 15 minutes of their time or done any task of parenting that inconvenienced them in any way suddenly start performing. And like, they probably talk to an attorney and they know like it's game time. Like, you have to show that you are an involved parent if 50-50 is what you're asking for. And, you know, it's a wicked game. I know so many parents who have experienced that same thing, where all of a sudden, like, when you tell them, hey, I'm done with this shit, they're like, oh, okay, like, you know, I'm 13. Oh, thank you so much. So are you. So are you. And given your situation with it, obviously, so many people just get the wool pulled over their eyes with custody and everything, or from what I've seen at least. Just know that you, the good mother you are, even in a co-parenting situation, kids grow up and they see past the manipulation and they see each parent for who they really are. And so your kids are very lucky to have you, and don't underestimate the power of your stable household, even if it's a 50-50 arrangement, because they will see the stark difference. They will see it, and their nervous system will feel it. And, you know, I want, like, everyone to know that I don't believe there's enough situations that leaving was like a bad thing and like not the right thing to do. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm so glad, Isabel. Oh my God, Horsegoat, get the fuck out of here, dude. Hold on. Sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I can't. It's like men like that just find me on platforms and they hate me, obviously, because I like to expose the shit that they do for exactly what it is, because it had me so confused for so long and it made me suffer for so long. And I'm not a man hater. I'm really not. I just hate abusive, degrading, condescending, fucking asshole men. So, and they hate me too. So it's mutual. We have a nice little situationship going on. Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of having fun, like, calling him out on his complete bullshit, but then I was like, nope, I'm done. You ever worked hard labor? Like, I'm sorry, have you ever pushed a baby out of your vagina, sir? Or were you too busy slamming Coors Light or Budweiser or whatever? See, I'm not always the nicest person. It's so true. No, it is so true, M13. It's absolutely correct. It is only, like, I posted this one funny thing, and I don't even know if I made it over to YouTube and posted it there too. But it's so true. I heard someone talking about this concept and I was like, damn, that is so true. Because every man, a lot of men that comment on my content like to really try to gaslight me and make me believe that I am just a misandrist and I just hate all men and there's not a good man walking the earth that I would recognize as a good man. And that's just not fucking true. Like, it's not. I have good men in my life that are friends of mine, that I ask parenting advice, that I ask for life advice, you know? It's just so ridiculous. And I posted this thing that said, men that aren't trash don't get offended by a woman saying men are trash. Like, only those men, only the men that are trash get highly triggered enough to stop scrolling and start commenting the worst, like, degrading, horrible things, you know, like, come on now. Like, we know it's you. Thanks for sticking out like a sore thumb, like my grandmother used to say. That's true, M13. That's true. And I feel like that's how we were conditioned as women, like, at least as a millennial. It was like, you can't be rude. And, like, if your opinion disagrees with that of a man, no matter what the expense is of yourself, it's rude. Don't be rude. Don't say, you know, oh, if he says hi, like, say hi. Like, no. My daughter she's a piece of work, guys. And I can only blame myself. She is very self-assured. She is, oh my God, she puts me through the ringer every day. But one thing I know about her is that, man, a man's really going to have to shine his holy light above his head, or whatever you want to say, like, for her to even consider. Like, she's under the age of 4, and she is way more comfortable just staring at, like, if we see like one of our neighbors or like whatever, we're out walking, she's way more just comfortable just side-eyeing them and like staring at them while they try to interact with her than she is like, you know, being rude. She doesn't have a problem with that. And that's like what I want to instill in both of my children. It's like, don't be a people pleaser. Like, that's never gotten anyone anything but like autoimmune diseases and just mental torment and mental health, like, you know, complications and like struggles, you know. Be kind to everyone, but don't ever let someone take advantage of you or convince you that like their needs, that like if a person is causing you harm, don't ever fucking hesitate to cut them off. And I'm talking about if it's a marriage, if it's a peer. I'm over here trying to teach emotional intelligence to 4-year-old boys, okay? It's not for the faint of heart. It's really not. And especially people around me are just like, oh, you know, boys will be boys. And I'm like, no, sorry. Like, I'm not teaching my son that if his friend is fucking bullying him, that, oh, that's just your friend, that's just how he is. No, because I wish that someone would have made it very fucking clear to me as a child that if someone treats you poorly, that is not your friend. That is not how anyone who loves you treats you. And that's just the kind of parent I am. And I can be a little harsh at times, yes, maybe. But like, I don't have problems setting boundaries with toddlers, you know? Like, no, we don't do that here. That's not how a friend speaks to another friend. You know, I just don't care. Because I feel like you cannot like start building a child's self-worth soon enough or early enough or too early, you know? Like, there's no such thing as that. They say nut shots and pregnancy pains are similar. Okay, IDAB. I mean, I wouldn't know. But I'll tell you that I don't know if nut shot pain lasts over 24 hours like childbirth did for one of mine. and then the epidural wears off, and then they tell you have to get a C-section. A C-section anyway. And it's like, what? I just labored for 24 hours and now I get to have surgery when I could have just had surgery in the first place. Thank you, Bakerman. Yes, I was deeply trauma bonded to my ex, Jose. I'm such an old person. I'm sorry. That's like so inappropriate to say. I feel like I'm getting old because I hear kids outside playing and I'm like, it's freaking 10 o'clock. It's like, just mind your business. They're probably teenagers. They're probably fine. Hi, Jean. I got it off TikTok Shop. If you have TikTok, I have it in my showcase. I think I still have it in my showcase. Saved there for anyone who might be interested. I freaking love it. It has like the all-seeing eye and different stones, and my son likes to say this is a knife or a sword because everything is a sword to him at his age. I'm like, it's a moon, bud. It's a moon. Not everything is a machete. Chill out. Chill it on out. Hi, Hales. How are you? Yeah, I hate that too. I'm like, boys will be boys excuses that shitty behavior. Like, we need to teach them that boys being boys is like looking out for each other and respecting little girls and you know, being helpful where they can and whatever, like being someone who is respectable, you know, like, because it's always like the most disrespectful males that I've come across who demand to be respected, and they don't do shit to earn respect, you know? Like, you have to respect other people to earn someone's respect. I'm so sorry, guys. My kids gave me the plague or something. Hi, Ashley. Thank you. That's so sweet. I'm sorry, Joshua. I know I was kind of coming for y'all. But before I went in on you guys, I was talking about how I have so many male friends that I admire and I respect, and I call them for advice, like when I'm lost in the world about being a boy mom. So I'm not a man hater. I just hate men who like hurt women, you know? Yeah, but we have to change that, Joshua. You have to change that. We have to change that, right? Because if girls are not growing up around men who treat their mothers like they are shit on the bottom of their shoe, they're not going to be into those men who treat like women like shit on the bottom of their shoe. You picking up what I'm putting down? I feel like such a geezer saying that. I don't even know if people say that anymore. But yeah, like and the thing is, like, you can preach it all you want. Like, you know, don't ever let a man treat you the way you've seen your father treat me. Like, it just doesn't, they do what we do. Kids do as we do. They don't do as we say. And I've lived that experience, having better knowledge and having information, but it's not what I saw. Like, it's not what formed my idea, right, of like how I should be treated. I saw things other than like well and with respect and with kindness and with consideration, you know? And so that's how I feel, like from a bird's eye view, just the cycle perpetuates, you know? Oh my gosh, now my eyes are starting to hurt. I agree. I agree, Joshua. I agree with that too. Hi, Robert. How are you? Oh my gosh, I know. Thank you so much for commenting on my content. I know I try so hard to like spread out my replies. I'm home with my kids. I do social media full time. And so my bandwidth is like stretched really thin, and I try to engage with people across all of my platforms as much as I humanly can without being a parent who's like this. Oh, that's great, sweetie. You know? And it's a challenge. And if I like didn't have children, I probably would be glued to my phone 24/7 engaging with everyone. But I always see your comments and I appreciate it. And I appreciate you being supportive and just your support. So, no, you didn't offend me at all. No, you did not offend me at all. I felt bad that you would have thought that at all. No, you did not offend me. I'm just like stretched so thin that I don't get to get back to every single comment. And I wish there was like, I wish I could multiply myself sometimes. I'm so sorry. I haven't gone live on any platform for like a week because I just, whatever this, I think it's flu A that everyone is getting. My kids bounce back, you know, like 1 or 2 days into it. And that's right when I get hit with it, is like right when they're feeling, I'm all better now, mom. And I'm like, yay, I'm dying now. So then if you're a parent, you probably understand, then you're like in the thick of it, like in the first 24 hours of like the sickness. And then your kids finally have their energy back and they're bouncing off the walls. And you're just like, okay, like what doesn't kill me will only make me stronger. Do you ever take time out to practice the pause? What do you mean? That's nice, Robert. Thank you. Take time out to practice the pause. Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh, thanks, Bakerman. Yeah, I mean, I'm nobody, you know? And I don't know shit about shit. I still feel that way. And I know that no matter how much I've been through in my life, or like anyone, no matter how educated you are, no matter how whatever it is, like you still can learn something from anyone in this world that you talk to, you know? And so I if I ever become not down to earth, then there's something seriously wrong with me, because yeah, I just I love learning things from new people like all the time, and I can strike up a conversation with literally anyone. Contemplative prayer, you can find more info on YouTube and books on practicing the pause. Look into it. Cool. I'll definitely look into it. I'm glad you did, Hales. Aw, you just put her to bed. Good for you. I'm going to do that too after I eat my snack, because I have a bad nighttime snacking habit, which I don't plan on giving up anytime soon. But yes, that's the best. I love that it sounds like you co-sleep. I do too. I love that. That's the safest place they could be. Yeah, Crystal, I'm glad. I'm glad it did. I'm glad it helped. I hope it helps. Oh, thank you, Robert. I just got them done. Yeah, so I'm about to do the same, actually. I see one of mine stirring right now, so I am going to hop off here, because I like will get excited and babble too loud, and then I can see them like flipping around. I'm like, oh no, they heard me. You know the panic when they start moving on the baby monitor and you're like in the middle of something. You're like, no, go to sleep. But yeah, so thank you guys for joining me. I am so happy that I got to connect with you guys tonight. And I'm really going to try to get a live schedule together, especially once I get like my voice back and I'm not like hacking up a lung, so that I can, you know, just connect on a more regular basis. I was also thinking about like doing a healing circle or something, like a Zoom setting where we could all just, you know, anyone who's interested, come in. It's just like more intimate, more private, whatever, talk about more sensitive issues. So, oh my, Robert, that's weird. That's weird. Okay, well, on that note, I'm going to go to sleep. May the force be with you too, Joshua. Good night. I love you guys.